Hey, Cosmic Superstars, welcome to Honest Life. My name is Teo, and I apologize for not being online in so long. Actually 2 months actually. So yeah, a lot has actually been happening, and I would like to share bits and bobs of that. And if you don't want to hear it, then please feel free to move on. No one's holding a gun to your head to stay here. Anyway, so what has been happening in my life? Well, first, I actually resigned from my job and I've actually been unemployed in since the last 2, 3 weeks. And truth be told, my contract was actually going to end at the end of October anyway. I work in the corporate world. I work for a charity organization up at the head office. But yeah, my contract was ending end of October. However, I decided to sort of end that sooner because I found myself getting really stressed and more specifically becoming very emotionally unstable at work. And I found myself being easily triggered and influenced by things that normally wouldn't get to me. And I started to realize that I had not really processed the loss of our fur baby, our cat Dory. And for those of you who don't know, my baby girl Dory, our Persian cat, actually passed in early April, just before she turned 5, and it was quite devastating because my husband and I tried so hard and tried so many different things to try to keep her going. My husband, went into all the sort of science and medical sort of Western medicine stuff while I was doing the total opposite. I was seeking the help of animal healers and all that and doing sort of the Eastern type medicine stuff. But unfortunately, nothing worked. And yeah, we both spent a lot of money trying to keep her alive. But it is what it is. And I know she's on the other side, happy and healthy and looking down on us, right? Anyway, still an open wound. So yeah, I found that I had not really taken time out to process the loss of Dory, to actually grieve. And ever since the loss of Dory in April, all my husband and I have been doing is focused on work and just keeping distracted. And even though, yes, we did go on a nice little holiday end of May together, it was a pretty hectic, busy holiday. So it didn't feel relaxing for me in any way. It just felt busy. That's the one word that I'll use to describe the whole experience. But it was fun, but busy, okay? And yeah, I realized that my emotions, my feelings, my pain was catching up to me, especially in sort of August. I just found myself, like I said, getting easily triggered by things and had this mini meltdown at work in front of one of the girls at work. And then I just realized something's not right because I normally wouldn't be like this. I'm not this person in the sense that I don't just cry over anything because I consider myself to be someone who's actually emotionally resilient, like very emotionally resilient and quite composed with my emotions. Like I can sort of control my feelings, but however, I found myself, yeah, like I said, just breaking down over dumb things. And I was like, this is not normal. Something's not right. And that's when I realized I think I need to take time out. And yeah, so I resigned. And, funnily enough, when I was having my little meeting with my manager to tell her about my resignation, all I did in that meeting was just cry. I just, the whole time. And I was like, I'm so sorry, blah, 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 crying. Because there's a part of me that felt really bad because I'm a person that actually does care about work. I'm actually very loyal to my work. I am, yes, a workaholic. I've always been that way. And I guess in a way groomed that way because of my father and his constant, if you don't work hard, you're not good enough, blah, 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 blah. And, if you don't work, means you're lazy, right? And that's sort of how my self-worth is formed through workaholism, if that makes sense. But yeah, there's a lot of realizations I've been coming to realize over the last few months. And yeah, not only that, I felt like there's a lot of other things coming to the surface as well, and a lot of stuff just wanting to purge. And I just realized, now is the time to stop. I need to stop and do me and choose me and just trust that God, the higher powers, my spirit team, are going to catch me. They're going to support me. They're going to help bring the right people to me to help me move forward in my next chapter. And so, yeah, I am at that stage where, they say in the hero's journey, you're taking that leap of faith. You're surrendering to the process and just trusting that all is going to be okay. But that's not to say I'm not scared, because from a financial perspective, I'm stressed, because even though I've saved a little bit of money to help me survive the next couple of months, 3 or 4 months at most, after that, I need to figure my shit out. Sorry to use that word. But if I don't, I might have to go find another corporate job or office job or some sort of just job side hustle thing before I can, just to survive, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's where I'm at, and I am scared, but I'm also relieved that I don't have to work under people anymore, relieved that it's done, it's over. And what I mean by that it's done, it's over, is that I no longer have to be working under anyone. I don't have to report to anyone anymore. It's over. At least I'm telling myself right now, it's over. You are going to be your own boss now. You've done enough. You've done enough. And, just to give you a bit of background, I have been in the workforce for over 20 years now. If you don't know, I'm actually 40 right now. So I think I started working around 19, 20. And some of you be like, oh, that's not, well, I started working at 13, 14. It's like, well, you probably had the opportunity to work. As a girl raised in an Asian family, your parents don't want you to work. Your parents want you to focus on studying and becoming an academic. If I had the opportunity, if I was allowed to work, I would have chosen to work. And to be honest, all of high school, especially in year 12, all I could think of was, I can't wait to get out of high school so I can work and make money. Because in the back of my mind, I knew, or at least this was a story I was telling myself. I told myself that making your own money equals freedom. Making your own money equals freedom. And that's the thing that always drove me to make your own money, make your own money, make your own money, because that means dad can't say things like, as long as you live in this house, you abide by my rules. As long as you live in this house and I pay the bills, you follow my rules. I hate those lines. That stuff irritated me. And that's the rebel in me. By the way, I have this sort of stubborn rebel side to me that people aren't really aware of. When people say go left, I go right. People say go right, I'll go left. Not to spite people, but because I don't like being told what to do. Right? Anyway, getting sidetracked. So, yeah, I am at a stage where I'm trying to figure myself out. But before I can figure out my next chapter and career-wise where I want to go, what it is that I'm trying to build, on here in the background, I feel that I first need to purge everything out. I need to cry everything out. I need to accept certain things and forgive myself and the people around me for certain things as well. And yeah. And then after that happens, then I can, focus on the next stage where I will focus on building my spiritual business. I'm still figuring out if I just want to focus on just numerology or healing. But to be honest, I hate the idea of just having one thing, because I'm not a single layered person. I am a multi-layered person with a lot of different skills, and I know that I can do a lot of different things. And so I hate the idea of just doing one thing. I want to do many things, but I also know that I have to hone in one thing first and then expand out from there. I think that's the dilemma I'm sort of in. Like, where do you want to go? What do you want to focus on first? And yeah, what's happening with this YouTube channel anyway? And for me, this channel is a place for me to practice speaking because I know that it's important that I speak. And at some point, I would love to share all the random things that I have been through to sort of help others understand that, you can get through things. And no matter what happens to you, you can pick yourself back up and move forward. Because I have been through a lot of interesting things in my life, and in parallel to those not so great experiences, those challenging obstacles, those pitfalls, those dark holes that you fall into. In parallel to that, I also had people hating on me for no good reason other than being me, which is not easy, right? But having said that, I still picked myself up. I still found my way. I still believe there would be better days, and I did find better days, and I did achieve the things that people thought I would never achieve. And I'll tell you what, I felt like I've always been this sort of, in a way, an underdog, and that person that's constantly underestimated or undermined. I've always had to be the background person because I'm surrounded by alpha females. I've always attracted alpha females into my life who assert dominance, who are much more vocal than I am. Because I am highly introverted, I choose to be silent and not say things. But that doesn't mean I don't see things. I don't know when someone's lying to me. But because I didn't want to lose people, because I had abandonment wounds, because I didn't want to upset people, because I hate conflict, I never said anything and I let people do whatever, whatever, whatever. But now I'm at the stage where I don't care anymore, and I'm so good with being on my own. Not as in like being single or something like that. That's not to say I can't be single either. My husband's gonna be, what are you saying? So I'm married. I'm married. I'm happily married, and I have a wonderful husband. But what I'm trying to say is that I've built this sort of almost hyper independence, which probably isn't that healthy. But I'm good with being in my own company. I'm good with being my own energy. And why am I even sharing this? Hey, I can't even remember. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I guess I just want to teach people that you can make it on your own. And yeah, I was talking about abandonment wounds and stuff, right? So yeah, because I didn't know who I was sort of codependent on the people around me. But as I've grown older, as I've learned who I am, and also learned about my own unique traits, and also understand that I am neurodivergent, I'm on the ADHD spectrum, ADHDI to be exact, and yeah, being highly introverted and also a HSP, not halal snack pack, but the highly sensitive person. And yeah, all these different things I've learned about myself has given me a lot more clarity. And yeah, where am I going with this? I'm so sorry. I'm just really scattered today, and I don't. I always say this. I don't know if I'll post this, but I'll probably end up posting this. Um, that's right. So the whole purpose of me sharing all this stuff is I always felt like I was that underdog person, the one that always got undermined, and I always attracted the alpha females or the alphas, the controlling, very strong, sometimes narcissistic people. I feel like I have proven a lot of these people wrong. I have almost surpassed all the people who started off above me. I feel like I have surpassed them now, and they're all in shock because they're like, how is she doing this? And it's because I chose to operate from my heart and chose to love people and be kind. And even though I've been through all these not so great things, I chose to not be bitter. I chose to stay strong and aligned to my heart. And because of that, I feel like that's what's helped me move forward in life. It's so easy to hate, but it's much harder to love people. You know that? It's easy to hate people, but it's harder to truly love someone unconditionally and compassionately. Hate is easy. You can just be like, I hate them, and then you don't have to put any effort. But to truly love someone, even though they do things that you don't necessarily like or agree with, that's the hardest thing to do. But when you master that, life is amazing. Anyway, I'm just talking nonsense right now, and that's just my random bibble blabbles. Bibble blabbles. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I have my cards here, and as always, I'm so terrible. I don't even know why I'm bringing the cards out, but I guess I will just end on some random messages for you because I can't always just talk about me, even though this is my channel made for me, talking about me. Well, not really me talking about me, it's me just sharing my life stories, and maybe my random rambles will inspire you to quit your job too and do something that you love and follow your heart. On that note, I keep wondering, am I here to help the neurodivergent people? Am I here to speak up for those who have their hearts broken? What am I here for? I'm here to succeed. By the Six of Wands. Huh. Ain't gonna lie, I feel like this is a message for me. Yeah, this is a message for me. So this is where I'm headed in life. I'm headed towards my own success and my emotional fulfillment. This is the Nine of Cups. This is where I'm headed. And even though I'm scared, I have faith. I have faith that it will all work out. Even though I don't know how, when, where, and how I'm ever going to make as much money as I did in my last job, it's going to be okay. And with this Three of Swords in reverse, I don't have to worry about heartbreak and all the pain and stuff anymore. That's over. It's over now. I am moving towards a more happier time in my life, and I don't need to worry about anything. Yeah. Justice. These scales are now being balanced in my life. Everything that I have done in this life and worked towards is being returned to me. And so, yeah, this is where I'm headed. And I'm just blabbing on and on and on and on. Blah, blah, blah. You probably didn't even understand what I just said. I'm just wondering, how am I going to type out that in the English captions that blah, 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 blah. Anyway, how about we give a message for the viewer and not for me. My two cards came out again. Okay, I'll take those cards out. A message for my viewers. Or you're just not wanting to give them a message. Come on. Oh, guys. We have the Ten of Cups. To my beautiful viewers. On the other side of the rainbow is happiness. You know, the thing is this, right? So many of us, we seek happiness, we seek joy, we seek that ultimate family life, that picture perfect life. But we don't realize before we get there, there's a journey we must take. There's a bridge that we must cross to get to the other side. There's also a lot of letting go of fears, of doubts, limiting beliefs. And until you choose to let go, to surrender, to cross that beautiful rainbow bridge, to get to the other side, Nothing's going to change. If you want to get to this, sacrifices have to be made. And I guess my channel is going to be the perfect example, at least my life story right now, what I'm posting out now, is going to be the perfect example of what happens when you completely surrender to the process. Because I'm pretty sure in my second video on this channel, which I posted almost a year ago, where I think it was about transformation, and I remember saying somewhere in that video that I was going to lead by example and show you guys how I'm going to transform. And now, a year later, it's taken a while. Yes, it has. I know. A year later, I have just surrendered, given up my income, my 6-figure income. By the way, I'm not saying that to brag, but I'm just saying so you understand what I've just given up, right? I've just given up a lot of money for nothing. Not really for nothing. I've given up that financial security so I can, number one, heal myself, choose me, and then work towards my dreams, my goals. What are my dreams? What are my goals? To be in service, to help people, to spread love, joy, and light, and hope. Yeah, this is my hope pose. Hope! I'm giving you guys hope, right? And I believe someday, somehow, not sure exactly how, that things are going to bloom for me. Things are going to be amazing. And then you guys will watch my videos and my progression, be like, wow, did you see how she started from nothing over here? And then she went and gave up her job, gave up her money, and trusted that it was going to be okay. Even though she did not know how, she being me. Even though I don't know how, what, when, why, how it's going to all unfold, and how I'm going to make money in the future. I mean, I know what my skills are and I know my service offerings, but I don't know how it's going to form and how it's going to come together and how it's going to look. I will show you guys that as long as you move towards your passions, what you truly, truly desire in your heart, anything is possible. Anything is truly possible. And right now, I can't see how it's going to happen. You can't see how it's going to happen. But believe me when I say in a few years' time, I have a feeling something is going to unfold from all of this. From surrendering, from trusting that God has my back, Spirit has my back, and yeah, we gotta surrender to cross that bridge to happiness, right? And the world is your oyster, my friends. The world is your oyster. Love it! Anyway, I think I'm going to end on that. Shall I do a bit of light language for you? Shall I? I think I'll keep that for next round or another day when I start going blah 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 blah. That's not like language, by the way. That's just me going blah blah blah. Okay, you'll know when I'm tapping into a different energy. Anyway, guys, I am excited to be back. I will hopefully do more informative videos. I actually really want to do one on introversion and then one on or a series on numerology and whatnot. And yeah, we'll see what happens from there. But I just really wanted to come on today to sort of explain why I've been away and also blab on about my life and whatever is happening and this whole hero's journey. And yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I have a runny nose, as always. Why do I even like rubbing? I could have just waited to blow my nose after getting off, but I just decided to show you. By the way, I just thought I would share this pimple friend with you. Hi guys, I'm a pimple. I just thought I would show that I'm very normal in the sense that I have skin issues too, and I'm not perfect. And no one really is. But that's the beauty of being human, isn't it? Love you guys. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.